Do you like toys? Big Bad Toy Store has toys. If you click the link in the description below and give them money, you too can have toys. Now watch my video. Hello and welcome to VR Reviews. Today we'll be reviewing the Mythic Legion's Iron Knight Legion builder. So yes, here we have my first Mythic Legion figure, and possibly my only one. I guess time will tell. I always hear people talking about Mythic Legions as they are fairly popular, but I've never really gotten on board the hype train for them, so I figured I'd pick one up and see what the big deal was, and they're fine. I'm not really convinced that they're worth the price point that they have, and I'm definitely not convinced that they're worth the ridiculous aftermarket prices that they have. But if you are into generic fantasy stuff, they are one of the only things you can collect in this sort of scale, so you kinda have to take what you can get, I guess. Starting off with a quick size comparison, of course here we have our Iron Knight. Here's our standard Marvel Legends 6-inch Cosmic Armor Iron Man and 3 3/4-inch Marvel Universe Wolverine. I do believe that Mythic Legions are generally a bit taller than your average American 6-inch scale figure, but being a female figure, this one is about the same size as a standard Marvel Legend, and of course bigger than a 3 3/4-inch figure. Now let's get everything else out of here and just look at our Iron Knight. Moving on to our 360 spin, the entire figure is that iron gray, with the exception of the strap across her chest, and that and her pauldrons are removable. So there's no other paintwork, but all the sculpting is really nice. There's lots of nice plating and intricate detail on all of the armor. And other than putting a wash on it or something, there's not really much that this design needs in terms of paint. She looks pretty much the way I imagine she is meant to look, so that's all fine. Head sculpt-wise, you get two different helmets. You get a domed helmet with a slit in the front for the eyes, and the back of it is long. And you get a kind of pointy face helmet with a spike on top. I do prefer the first one, as I feel like the second one doesn't match the body as well. I also think it might be a little bit oversized. It just looks a bit weird to me, but I do really like the first helmet, so that's fine by me. Articulation-wise, you get something akin to Mattel articulation. Ball peg in the head, so your head moves around. Shoulders move in and out, forward and back. Hinge and rotation in the elbow. Gauntlet rotation. Hinge and rotation in the wrist. Ball peg in the chest. Waist cut. Hips go in and out, forward and back, thigh rotation, hinge and rotation in the knee, and hinge and pivoting in the ankles. So you should be able to get her into some poses, but she is not quite up to the caliber of Marvel Legends or better articulated things. Accessories-wise, you get a few things. You get a one-handed sword, a two-handed sword, and a spear. They're all fairly shiny silver, but they don't have any paint on them other than that. The sculpt on them is fine, but like I said, they have no paint to bring out any real detail. Then you get these little extender pieces that attach to her back. I have been informed that they are for attaching wings to, which in my opinion she does not need, so I will not be using them for anything. Packaging-wise, you get one of those collector-friendly blister cards, which means you can remove the blister without damaging the card. The packaging itself is pretty generic, and I believe basically the same thing they use for all of their figures. Big window in the front, Mythic Legions, and on the back you get some pictures of other figures that are available, none of which are even this figure, and a big description-y thing that I don't want to read. As is generally the case with this sort of packaging, these are good for in or out of package display, and that wraps it up for our Iron Knight. So until next time, goodbye.